Hello everyone, my name is Dennis. Thank you for joining me. We're going to do an express core class today, so about 15-20 minutes or so with a nice little warm-up to begin with. And we're going to focus a lot on anti-rotation, anti-flexion drills. So since most of our day, or a lot of our day in modern times, is spent rounded over a desk, driving, texting, what have you on the computer, we're going to think about, instead of having all these movements that contract the rectus abdominis or the six-pack muscles in a forward flexion or rounding of the spine forward, we're going to focus on other movements that don't put us into that what might be undue stress or undue stressful position that we're already in so much. So we can get started on the mat. I'm going to adjust this camera for us. Here we go. So I'm going to warm up. Just going to tuck my shirt in. So first movement, we'll be on our side. If we can, we're going to go heel to glute or as close to it as we can. So we're here in this position. As long as there's no sharp pain or discomfort in that knee, then we're going to relax. We're going to let it come forward, hug that knee in without rounding of the lower back. So just gently. And then we're coming back. We're going to keep a little bit of space here between the glute and the heel. And we're just going to squeeze that glute and bring that knee back past the center line. So we'll feel it more in the top of this hip, so as hip flexor complex. And then come through one more time. And back, keeping that space. And then if you need more of a stretch, keep the knee where it is and bring that heel to the glute. And we can switch sides. Same thing. Heel to glute in the first one. Going more vertical with the knee. Come through. A little bit of space here. Bring that knee back behind us. Hug it in again. Last one. And then, if you need more, bring that heel in closer to the glute. Good. We'll go into this position. We're going to take this nice and easy. If it causes any back discomfort, or hip pain, we can definitely skip this, but just to loosen up the back, get that synovial fluid moving through the spinal column. We're going to get in this position, oftentimes called the Sphinx position in yoga. But here, arms bent, squeezing the glutes, and we're just coming up just as far. Just take your time. Come up with those arms still bent as far as you feel comfortable. And then I like to rotate just very, very gently, squeezing the glute on one side or the other. And then if you need more stretch, we can go straight arms. Still really thinking of contracting that back, not just jolting ourselves with our arm muscles, but instead really getting the back involved, one side or the other with the hips. Loosening, kind of limbering up that back. And then last thing, we'll go to a tall kneeling lunge. So this back leg, my right leg here, is vertical underneath of me. I'm going to use my hands to allow that leg to come back behind the center point just a little bit. And we're going to keep this. I don't want to overarch my back. I'm going to keep this neutral. Ribs are down, core's contracted, but I want to think about the hips shifting forward. Just nice and gentle. If you need more stretch, you can use this arm, come over the top. Opposite side, same thing. Then back beyond the center line. Keep ribs down, core is engaged, hips are coming forward slightly. All right, very nice. So, first movement looks deceptively easy, has an odd name, but one of the best movements. We can really scale it up to wherever we are fitness-wise. So here we go. We're going to go for a dead bug. So the dead bug gets its name because of how we look at the bottom or at the start. We're going to go 90 at the hips, 90 at the knees, and about a basketball-sized space between our knees. Hands wherever's comfortable for you. Now our back, it's kind of hard because I'm on a black on black, but we don't want any space. See how I have my hands in my lower back? I want to actively engage my deep abdominal muscles by thinking of pushing that lower back through the floor. So now I can't get that hand through my lower back at all. There's no space. If there's light on the other side, you wouldn't see any of that light coming through. So there's no space through the whole of the back. We're here, toes are up and active. And from here, our head is nice and back and relaxed. And from here, you'll even start to feel the contraction here. And then what we can do is take our arms, reaching through those shoulders, reaching up hard into the ceiling, and you'll feel even more of that contraction. So we're gonna hang out here, 4, 3, 2, 1. You can relax a little bit if need be. Sorry about that. Now, we're gonna add a little bit of dynamic movement to it to make it a little more difficult. So we're here in this position. We're gonna keep that knee angle exactly where it is, 90, locked here at the knee. And we're gonna move that hip. So we're here. We're gonna tap that heel, pause, hold. Once again, I'm not putting too much weight through that heel at all. I'm just tapping, coming back. Tap the opposite side, coming back. And try 5 each side. And once again, it gets harder. The further from this 90-90 position, the further away from us our knees or legs come, the more our back wants to arch. And we don't want to let it on this one. We're doing anti-flexion. So instead, we're pushing that lower back through the floor the whole time, no space. So here, reaching up hard. Don't worry about the speed of the repetition, slow and controlled. Just focus on that contraction and the quality of the contraction. That's what we're going for. We're trying to make these reps more difficult, not less. 2 more each side. Very nice. And then take a small break. We're gonna do another one. So once again, wherever your level is at, if you just need to hang out here with no arms, if you need to just have the arms and hold that static position for a little bit, that's fine. If that was a little too easy for you, we're gonna make it a little harder now. So this knee is gonna come out to about 45 as we move. So instead of tapping close to the glute, instead we're gonna come out about halfway and coming back. Halfway, gentle tap, coming back. Once again, really focus on pushing that lower back through the floor the whole time. Reaching up with the hands. One more each side. Very nice. Now, we're gonna go into a rotational movement. So for the straights, do obliques, external obliques, internal obliques. So, I'll slide towards you a little bit, just have some room on this far wall. So, with this one, I'm going with some windshield wipers, or a form of windshield wiper. So let's start off with knees bent, so that 90-90 position. This time, feet together, arms off to the side, just for balance and support. So we're here, nice and easy. We're going to focus on contracting the core the whole time through this. So we're coming down to the side. I let this opposite arm come up. You don't need this big pec and shoulder stretch. That's not the point of the movement. So let this opposite side come up. I'm not touching, just a hair's length away. And then, no momentum. I want to do it, not necessarily slowly, but I don't want to have momentum and I don't want to have it be this and just jerk through the motion. I'm going to have the core engaged throughout, focusing on that contraction. I'm just going to go 7 each side. Now, if this is a little too easy for you, no problem at all. What we can do, straighten the legs out to the best of our ability. Coming down to the side, slide over a little bit more. Down to the side, still this away, and then coming back. Off to the side. And the important thing is to keep these knees at that 90-degree arc. We don't want to have them drift further from our head to make these reps easier as we go through them. Once again, the opposite arm can come up. It can even cradle the back of the head. If you need to switch from side to side. Two more each side, taking our time. Once again, making these reps difficult. Focus on the contraction, the quality of the repetition, not the number. And at any time during this class you need to take a break, you're in complete control, you need to pause it, come back later. Totally fine. Now, we're gonna flip over into a front plank position. So we're gonna do a modified front plank. So the first one we'll focus on that contraction and feeling the positions and where we want our joints to be in space. So we're gonna make this one a little difficult, a little more difficult than a conventional plank would be. So I like going palms down just for added surface area and contraction, but you can go fist down, that's totally fine. So I'll be palms down. The important thing is to keep this elbow directly underneath this shoulder. So we can have feet close, a little bit out. So the important thing is we don't want our glutes super up high or collapsing here. We want everything neutral. Mine looks a little weird just because of how my shirt's tucked in. But we're here, we're parallel to the floor with our torso. And then what we want to do is try and get the elbows as close to our knees as possible without bending anything. So we're here, we're pulling forward almost like we're doing a lat pull down, and I'm coming off of my toes a little bit. They're still in contact, but I'm shifting that weight forward, translating that weight forward. I'm holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, coming back. Once again, I didn't dip down. So here, glutes contracted, coming forward, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and back. One more, pull forward, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, coming back. Very nice. I'm gonna flip back over. And on this one, I'm gonna go hand back tucks. Sometimes these are called V-tucks. There's different names for them, sometimes done without the arms. On this one, the arms are only assisting us a little bit with balance. The important thing is we don't wanna dump the shoulder forward and have the head of the humerus really aggravate that shoulder capsule. So we want to think about pulling our shoulder blades back, proud chest, as some people would say. Chest kind of sticks out, and hands are just light and gentle. So we're here, and at any time you need to just put these heels on the mat, totally fine. Once again, you're in control. So we're just going to go for 30 seconds. In. Oh, and what the rep looks like, we're here, heels together, out, coming forward. As we come forward, that torso comes in just slightly. Once again, shoulder blades are still back. So here we go. 2, 1, we go for 30 seconds. Once again, focus on that contraction. If you need to tap the heels in between reps, that's totally fine. Let's go an extra 10 seconds if we can. Once again, go at your own pace, your own tempo, and take the break when you need it. 3, 2, 1, time. Very nice. I'm gonna come back over into that modified front plank position, but instead of pulling forward, we're gonna go marching. So we're gonna go one foot or the other is gonna come up. So we're gonna be in that position. Fists or palms, elbow right underneath the shoulder, feet out wide. I'll come forward a little bit so you can see. Feet out wide, so not together. They're here. Keep the glutes in line with the torso by squeezing the glutes and the quads. And then we're trying not to rotate on this. So what it's gonna look like is we'll bring that up by contracting that glute, straight back down. Contract the opposite side, straight back down. We're going 7 each side if we can. Take a break if you need it. Drop to your knees, nice and easy. Hold for a second at the top. Make sure your head stays neutral. Very nice. Now come back around. So this movement is once again for the sides of our torso, sides of our core, our trunk. So your obliques, serratus, everything on the side here. So looks a little peculiar, but very effective. So when we're here on our side, our feet are stacked, if we can. Bottom hand is out here pushing down. We're really going to use this hand to support us and to help us through the movement. This top hand is behind the head, fully taking the weight of the head so the neck stays nice and relaxed. So I'll show you upper body and lower body movement, and then we can combine them into a more difficult movement if you need to. So we're here, and we're just thinking, not just to the side here, we're thinking up and twisting somewhat. So if this causes any pain or discomfort, we can definitely skip it. But we're here, and we're just looking 45 degrees past this hip. Squeeze and contract. Hold for a second, and then coming back down. Once again, we can really push through this bottom arm as need be. That's upper body movement. Lower body, once again, not just coming up straight, we're coming up and forward with lower body. So together, here's what it looks like. Squeeze, hold. My head is nice and supported, and coming back down. We're gonna try 8 each side if we can. Here we go. Squeeze, hold, coming back down. It's like a corkscrew, torso and legs, kind of rotating that opposite direction. Then we'll switch sides, same thing on the opposite side. Bottom hand is reaching out in front of us. Feet are stacked, top hand's bracing, supporting the head. That same thing. Coming up, if you can just do upper body, if you just want to do lower body, totally fine. Going for 8. Squeeze, hold, feel the contraction at the top, that's what we're focused on. Coming back down. And you might notice one side is kind of easier to activate. You feel it more than the other. Very normal. So we're going to come back to that original movement, the dead bugs. So we're here, back is flat. We don't want this. We're going to keep those ribs down and no space in that lower back. We're pushing through the floor. We're going to go 3 reps at each difficulty. So we're here, 90-90 at hips and knees, toes are up and active, arms reaching up. And we're just gonna go tapping 3 each side, nice and easy, reaching up the whole time. Then we're coming out to 45 degrees with the knees, 3 each side. And then take a little break if you need it, or make this one more difficult if need be. You can stay exactly where you're at. So push that lower back through, and then on this one, we're just gonna come out as far as we can. The higher up you are, the easier it is, and the closer without touching that heel is to the floor, the more difficult it's gonna be. So reach up hard. Once again, if you can't come all the way out, just stop where you need to. And you can tell where you need to because that back's gonna start coming off that floor. Really focus on that deep contraction and keeping that back in contact with the floor. Once we're done there, we're gonna have a nice finisher. So this movement's one of my favorites. I call them clocks, but what it's gonna look like, I'll show you from a couple different angles. We're gonna go heels together, so that same V-tuck or hands back tuck position. But instead of coming straight up and down, we're actually going to go in a circle, like we're tracing a clock. So I'll show you clockwise first. Heels stay together. You can go a small, tiny circle. You can go a large one. What I prefer to do is kind of switch my hips. So once again, if your back's healthy, this doesn't cause any discomfort. It's a little difficult. You'll notice my feet, my toes kind of point in a different direction, and it sort of shifts the workload a little bit to different regions of the core to some extent. So that's what it's going to look like. The important thing is no matter how big or small the circle is, as the knees come up towards the torso, torso comes towards the knees slightly. Once again, keep that shoulder in good position, down and back. And we're going to try and go for 30 seconds each side. So a minute of work, and then we're all done. But we'll be feeling it after this. So we've got 4 seconds. Let's go clockwise first. 3, 2, 1. Here we go. Shoulders stay in that good position. Torso comes towards the knees as we go. 10 seconds down. Almost there. And time. All right, let's take about 7 seconds and we're going counterclockwise. Then we're all done. Here we go. Heels together, 2, 1, counterclockwise. Torso comes towards the knees, nice and gentle. Shoulders down and back. Once again, if you need to take a break at any point, please feel free. Going 10 more seconds if we can. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. Alrighty. Hopefully you're feeling that contraction of the core. So, thank you for joining me. Once again, my name is Dennis. Please feel free to watch over this tape again whenever need be, or this video I should say, this recording. Have a great day. Thanks so much for joining me.